So Manushi, firstly, a warm welcome to you on Filmy Shilmi and congratulations on your big Bollywood debut with Samrat Prithviraj.
Thank you.
Lovely. Now, look, Manushi, it's been some time since the film has released. It's obviously your first film, and that too on such a huge scale. So, tell me, did you think of it as a risk? And what were your emotions before doing the film, and now that the film has actually been out in the cinemas for a while?
I think I was like that. I was like that deaf frog that's climbing out, that's trying to climb a wall. Um, I had no idea what to expect. I'm not from the film industry. I'm from a very different world. So of course, I did feel the pressure of playing a role like this. I did understand when I got into it. I understood the fact that this is not a very contemporary character. This is a character I have to understand, and also this is a character that has been that the society already has a preconceived notion, or they have an idea of what Princess Sayogita was like. So I had to match up to that. So that being a first film, especially for me who I'd never acted before, I'd never done a film before. So that came with its own set of challenges. But I'd say that when I started out, like I said, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea where I was going. So a little bit of ignorance brought a bit of confidence that since I don't know what's going to happen, might as well take on that challenge and see, how it's going to, what actually ends up happening. And I'm happy that I did it. I think I'm very happy that I was part of this project. I've when I watched the film, I've loved it. I'm not, and I'm not. Uh, I mean, I might be a little biased towards it, but I've genuinely loved it. And I think I'm really proud that I was a part of a film like this. Of course, when I started out, the way I looked at filmmaking was very different. Uh, I didn't know anything about it. Being on a set, on a film set, working with so many people, there are thousands of people on set every day to make sure that every shot is shot to perfection. Understanding all of that through the process, I also fell in love with filmmaking. When I started out, I was taking a lot of pressure on myself. But as in when I saw myself perform, and I could see that okay, I'm improving every day. So that also that somewhere internally, I think kind of gave me a push to kind of give it my all and keep keep
Right.
doing my best over there. Today, I'd say that I love films. Although when I stepped into the world of films, I was still not completely sure if this is something that I should be doing, or if this is something that I see myself doing 10 years from now. That has definitely changed. I think today I'm much more assured. I'm more confident, and I'm happier doing films.
Right. Well, that was wonderful. And I think it was definitely, I mean, it's a huge debut, I think, for anyone, I mean, to play, I mean, I guess seeing a beauty queen playing a queen herself, I mean, I think that is quite a lovely thing for us to experience. But I think one thing that Manushi, I must tell you that there's something about the Johar scenes, whichever Johar scene that there is in or any story of Johar has always really deeply affected me on such a high level. Like I remember watching Padmavat, and I I had to literally write an article on it because of how deeply moved I was. And again, for you to perform a scene like that. In fact, Deepika had also mentioned that when she had done it, it was really emotionally and mentally taxing for her. How was that experience for you? I mean, because obviously with Yodha, I mean, it was such a powerful song, but yet extremely heartbreaking. How was that experience of shooting that scene and that quotient for you?
Well, the first thing is that the prep for Yodha was about learning the dance and everything, which was physically, I mean, I don't think I'd done something at this level. So that was the very first challenge, physically kind of uh, getting familiar with the warrior dance. This was a very different way of interpreting. The song was more about, it was cathartic. There was a lot of pain, anger, and so I think that whole feeling of catharsis, that's something that I had to feel. And um, obviously this is not an emotion that I in my life was familiar with. It's not a very easy decision to make. And we shot for the song over a period of 4 days. And I remember that those 4 days, and the first day that I came on set, I told my team, I said that I won't be talking to anyone. I said I'm going to be going into my zone, and I said this is a little emotionally it's a demanding sequence. So let me be there and let me understand. And living through that character for 4 days, that was emotionally very, very demanding, not just physically. And I think I don't think that level of whatever pain, anger, frustration, whatever she's feeling, I don't think in real life I've ever felt that. So that was a journey in itself. And I remember the last day that we were shooting, I was very tired. Emotionally, I was very exhausted. So I went to my van and I cried for the very first time because I think that was the first time I said that this is emotionally very demanding. But we finished shoot. I remember after I think there have been times when I've had tears in my eyes even during the song. So and I remember physically also I'd injured myself. I was limping halfway through the song. I'd started to limp because I'd injured my foot. But overall, I love the way that it has looked, because everyone wanted that the pain of having to make such a decision, but still seem strong because you're leading other women into it. Everything, the whole challenge of such a sequence, I think that has come through. That's come through very beautifully in the film. And most importantly, I feel that instead of it looking like visually what it should, we tried to focus on emotionally what she's going through. And even after we finished the sequence, I went back home, and the next morning I woke up and I just started crying. Like, it was just an emotional outlet, because I said that there's just been so much of a build up. And I remember my mom was there, and she said, she was talking to me, and she said that, I said, no, I'm not sad or something. I said, it's just that there's been such a big build up that I had to let it out at some point. But yeah, I think that's the one sequence that I've worked the hardest on. I think everyone worked very, very hard on that sequence.
You know what? It's interesting because I've heard so much about Maharani Sayogita's story. Of course, we've grown up watching the series on Prithviraj Chauhan, so we're all familiar with that memory. But I completely forgot to. It became a distant memory about her having to, sort of allegedly, perform Johar in order to, save her and her honor and the honor of the other women as well. I completely forgot that, and when I watched that on screen, I was like, oh my god! I mean, it was absolutely harrowing, but it was very. I think the film was very well done. I think you're definitely very promising. I must tell you, Anushi, to play such a character for your first film, it takes guts, it takes courage, and you definitely displayed that. So I think just wanting to touch upon, because like you mentioned, I mean, obviously you don't come from a filmy family. So what were some of the fundamental skills you learned whilst working on Prithviraj? I mean, I'm sure there must be so many. You could probably write a manual on it. But if you had to pinpoint some of them, what would you say those fundamental skills were?
I think the first is the fact that the more you practice, the better you get. Like any other skill in life, as an actor, you have to keep practicing. Like how a musician has a musical instrument as his or her tool, and your body is your tool as an actor. So that's something I understood. Whether it's your voice, whether it's your strength, your agility, your stamina. I think like making sure that you're training your body to perform. I think that's another thing that I realize that's very, very important. The third thing would be the fact that your professionalism. I feel that there are a lot of people who are working on set from morning to night. It's very time sensitive, that times where you can only shoot in sunlight, and it's a very expensive affair. There's a producer who's put in a lot of money who invests a lot of money every day. So I think understanding that and behaving as professionally as you can, I think these three are the main ones. There's a huge list of things that I can say, but these three would be the main.
Yeah, I mean, the stakes are much higher when Aditya Chopra is producing your first film. I mean, I would be excited but hella nervous as well. So I'm sure it must have been the same for you. But no, but I think it worked out really well, and I'm really happy to hear that. That sort of learnings that you've had. So you hold an MBBS degree, but yet you're drawn.
I was I was studying to become a doctor.
Right.
I was in my MBBS, but
Uh,
I didn't finish it.
Okay. So yeah, so you were studying for MBBS, but yet you're drawn towards the arts, and you've even, I believe, trained in Kuchipudi dancing as well.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me one thing, Manushi, because I often ask this question actually nowadays to a lot of actors about this dilemma and internal conflict that they face. Have you ever faced a dilemma in your life between art and academia? If so, how did you deal with that sort of a conflict? I mean, were you much of a yodha then as well?
I'd say that I come from a very normal Indian family where it's the norm is that you grow up and you get a professional degree, you become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or if you end up doing something in the arts, you prepare for civil services after. So I mean, it was a very different. I didn't know actually. The thing is that even the people around me, we didn't know what career options were there otherwise at that point of time. Um, I would not say, see, that choice has been a dilemma, and whenever you have to make a decision in life and choose when it's a this or a that, which is a big part of adulting, you realize that after you go to college that you have to make choices.
Yeah, oh God.
I think that's always a dilemma. But I'd say that I have gotten best of both. When I was focusing on my studies and I was in school, luckily I was a good student, but I was one of those students who'd either be found in the art room or in the auditorium preparing for something. I was always involved, so I got the best of both. The only time when I was just studying was my first year in MBBS. That was the first time I just had to study, and it's a tough year.
Hmm.
But even then, I think I would manage to, during the weekends, paint a little bit and do other things. I'd say that even though I'm not studying in a college right now, but along with Prithviraj, I was studying literature. So I did a little bit of Indian classical literature and Western classical literature, and I moved on to Indian authors who've written in English. But I'd say that studying will never leave me. I think academics
Mhm.
can never leave me. I don't hold a professional degree. I'm not studying in a college, but I'm still learning and I'm still studying. So that's never going to leave me. I think even as an actor, performance is a part of it, but you also have to be well informed before you perform.
Oh, beautiful. I think that's so well said there. And I think it's wonderful as well to have that balance, isn't it? Rather than, I guess seeing it as a conflict as to prior what my question was. Like, it's good that you have that balance where you have that sense of educating yourself as well as you're performing in the art. So I think that is definitely very wonderful as well. But, I think, I find you very, very confident. I mean, even when I saw you on the Kapil Sharma show, you were definitely very I was very impressed with the way you were presenting yourself. It didn't seem like this was your first stint. In fact, even your speech on women empowerment during the pageant, I think that was again very moving. Where does that confidence come from, Manushi? And given the fact that you've got some amazing projects lined up, like the Great Indian Family coming up, how do you think this confidence will help you further and sort of, determine the way you handle success and failure in this industry? It's a big question, sorry, because we're running out of time.
I'd say that the first thing is that maybe I'm good at pretending that I'm confident,
Oh.
but I'd say a lot of self assurance, if I were to think about it today, from my parents. I think they have a big role to play. Um, I've never grown up. I've never had that thought in my head that this is something I can't do. And when that thought's not there, even if I'm in a new place, like whether it's a Kapil Sharma show, like you mentioned, or anything else, I've always spoken my heart. Luckily, growing up, our parents would always encourage us to debate. There'd always be a discussion on the dining table about whatever's happening in the world, about our opinions about different things. And that was the time we'd all look forward to, because both of my parents were working. Dinner was the one time, and all of us, the whole family, would sit together and we'd discuss and we'd talk about different things. Also, I have an elder sibling, so she would come with her own stories and experiences. So I got to learn a lot from her. At a very young age, I was listening to things that older people had to discuss, whether it was about the politics in the country, whether it was something that happened in mythology, some story that our grandmother was telling us. So I think that little bit, always knowing a little bit of everything, and having an opinion since childhood, somewhere I think has given me the confidence to even today be able to form an opinion and speak in front of people. But a lot of self-assurance, I think the credit will go to my parents for that, since childhood, and to my school. I think in school we were always encouraged to be confident and speak for ourselves.
And quite ironic how you're literally doing a film called The Great Indian Family, which basically is symbolizing that. So I guess you must be having a lot of fun, especially working with Vicky on that as well. So that must be going quite good for you, right?
I think both experiences were great, but I would love to talk about the second film when it's closer to release.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, I knew she was gonna mention that. No, but look, Manushi, I think it's great. I think I'm very happy to see a talent like yourself emerge, and it's wonderful that YRF are backing such great talents too. And again, Prithviraj is a very special film. I think to many of us, it does really present a very important chapter in Indian history, which sadly even now is very relevant in places. But I think bravo to you and well done for such a challenging debut, and you've done really well. So thank you so much for joining me on Filmation, Manushi, and I hope to have many more interactions with you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you, Manushi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Vijay Bhava.